There we go. Get a little louder. You think you felt it when you barely saying words?
Instead of that platform struck music. If you got your shirt buttoned all the way to the top, music like this playing, it's just utter disrespect. You gotta have at least 2-3 buttons on there.
This has always been a Miguel happy space.
It has. Always will be.
And I just like, cause okay, he posted like a couple days ago. It was like this wasn't on the album, but it was like the 6-year anniversary of Wild Heart, which fucking fire ass album. Like, if you don't fuck with Waves, like if Waves don't make you just get fucking, it do stuff. It just fucking, it's a fucking fun song, nigga. Like it do stuff. So anyways, probiotics. Just everything. So he posted that or whatever. And like maybe a couple day or so later, I saw a post and it was talking about like something about R&B. And they had all the good people in there. Chris was in there, and they put Lil Brent in there for like the toxic vibes, and that was actually like I think like the title, like Toxic Song King or whatever. So anyways, and I was just sitting there, I was like, how come I don't even need to be at the top? I was like, how come you niggas not put Miguel in? Like, I don't see him on enough lists. And like when I saw like everything gets tied in, folks. When I saw the post, there was a post about a tweet from Masego who was like, live instrumentation and blah. It was basically like, niggas like who are really, really musicians finna kill the game. Like, it's horns, it's fucking whatever. And part of me initially just gonna get our fucking AR rocks off, so when this shit happens, you niggas know I need that Masego fucking Miguel collab. I need that to happen. Like, all right, universe, do your fucking thing. Yeah, man, facilitate that. Let it just let it fucking rain. But yeah, I just was like, come on, man. Like, this nigga, like, Prince is Prince, right? But if there's a nigga who seems like they're trying their goddamnness to get the Princey vibes, I kind of give that to Miguel.
Do you think they don't give it to him because of the infamous leg drop?
Y'all niggas grew up on wrestling. Look,
y'all had Hulk Hogan out here thinking that he was the best wrestler in the world because of a leg drop, and Miguel come and does.
Honestly, if you disrespect him for the leg drop, then I just feel like you're disrespecting, his culture, because fucking luchador, nigga. Like, I'm a soulful loop man. What the fuck? Yeah, from the top rope and the top note.
I'm about to say he had to jump quite a bit for a little dude and get all the way over there just to make it. He coast to coast with it, man.
They just they didn't go to rehearsal, Anyways, that nigga living like a rock star, which further proves this Prince comparison. Now, Prince didn't leg drop nobody as far as I know, but we don't know because this was before cell phones and shit. Prince,
we don't know what Prince was doing out here, and
Prince
that's part
floats.
of the mystique of Prince. We wasn't supposed to know everything he was doing. He was just supposed to happen, baby. I'm Prince. Like, whatever I say is gonna happen.
Too many people talk about he floats. I believe it.
Oh, I don't doubt that he floated.
100% believe that nigga. Like, that
some people glide, but they say he levitated.
Yeah. Like how like Omni-Man just walked through a room before he like threw them fucking, special agent niggas across, and like he just was. That's how Prince like just
all through life.
No, yeah, it's like. I don't even think Paisley Park had floors. You just had to figure it out. Like, if you're not mentally and spiritually aware to walk into Prince's house, you're going to fall to your death. That's part of the fucking mystique. You can't come in here and walk.
Fucking Mortal Kombat bridge fight scene. Like,
yeah, it was a lot of him floating, and every celebrity story is like either he floats or he just appears and then stops appearing. They don't even say disappears. Like he was there and then like the nigga shifted time and wasn't there.
No, in hindsight, I think, him being 5'0" contributes to that. Like, it's easy for a dude that's like super tiny to just appear out of nowhere.
Prince was spending his life crawling under people like, like be blessed and like, oh my God, it's Prince. Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't even know where did he go. He
just licked my pussy.
Donald Trump said it was okay. He said it was okay. Hi, everybody.
He was grabbing him by the fucking weirdo.
Nah, yeah, he was grabbing him. Prince was just pleasure. Just pleasure for both of us. I'm here for you, baby. I'm here for you. Welcome to Just a Dope Ass Podcast here on this lovely Monday evening, this post interdependence celebration that we just had yesterday. This pre/post Juneteenth celebration, the foundation of why we celebrate Juneteenth, because this didn't get right the first time holiday that we celebrated yesterday. Well, y'all celebrated. We didn't really celebrate that.
You know what I thought about? Like, aside from like the Juneteenth and the blackness and everything, it's just really always been a whack holiday. Like, when you think about holidays and you're like, I'm fucking excited, even with all the fucking shittiness attached to Thanksgiving, you're like, fuck, man, Thanksgiving is cool. Like, you like people dig, like, the familial vibes that come, like the fucking propaganda that goes with Thanksgiving. Motherfuckers love Christmas. But when you think about fucking, like, July 4th, nobody's ever really been like, I fuck with Independence Day. You're like, barbecue day. Like, it really is just like a cookout. Like, nobody gives a shit. I don't even believe white people give a shit like that. They just have nothing else. They just be trying to grab on to something. But I don't really, like, people fuck with Christmas. There are people like, I fucking wait all year for Christmas. Nobody, like, as patriotic as they are, they're just trying. I believe there's a weird group, but I feel like the people who really are, I waited all year for fucking Independence Day. Even their family who's sitting there spangly with them is like, no, the fuck we did. Nobody waited around for this.
Yeah, I disagree, because I think there are a good amount of white folk, especially ones in the South, that are itching to celebrate Independence Day. Like, you have small towns all over, but the town shut down and everybody goes to like the park for the fireworks show, and it's like everybody's kind of picnicking and coming together, kind of how we do at the beach these days.
Picnicking. Yeah,
literally. That's how the township hall meetings used to go. We gonna pick a nigga and we gonna celebrate after we hang and skin him in the name of independence.
It's fucking everything about this.
Everything, even from you saying it's barbecue day. Like, we were the barbecue originally. That's part of the issue, but I can understand why it's not. It's really not.
Really ate us.
I think that's part of why you may look at it and be like, yo, this is a shitty ass holiday. Because for us, it's never meant what it was supposed to represent. Like most holidays in general, but that one especially is like, this is the country's Independence Day from the Brits, but we wasn't included in that. Ain't nobody give a damn about us in that situation. And we barbecue, but like I said, oddly enough, the people that were originally the barbecue became some of the best barbecuers. Everything about this gathering to celebrate in the name of this country was at our expense. So I can understand us having a little bit of animosity towards the holiday. And like I said, we wasn't free anyway. We had Juneteenth. We ain't have July 4th. So, like, other than the barbecuing part, yeah, we don't have shit to celebrate. I feel triggered, low-key. I feel like every time we celebrate the 4th, when I see posts of black people, like, wearing American flag shit, I want to reach through the screen and, like, smack them across the mouth.
No, I just always, like, I like it now to just be like, oh, okay. Like, I'm very, very staunch in, like, I just feel like it helps maintain my own mental fucking sanity. Fuck health. I just want this shit to stay together. Like, I'm just trying to. I'm not
worried about betterment. I just want to keep
my
it.
fucking my mental health meniscus and ACL is blown. I just want to be able to stand on this bitch. And what helps me is, okay, that's you. All right, bet. cool. Like I'm not doing nothing. Like, oh, that's you. All right, bet, cool, we good. Like, because I just feel like okay, man. Like I'm trying. You put a lot into like the motherfuckers who be like. Because I realize it's a hard enough battle motherfuckers who be claiming they whatever the fuck they into and be like, you hear them speaking, I'm like, you don't know what the fuck. That is a hard enough group. You niggas who was gone, man, I see you when I see you. I hope you make it this way. It's better this way, word to crit. But like, if you don't get over here, I'll see you next lifetime. Well, I won't, but somebody will. Like,
somebody gonna see you.
Yeah, you got to do this over. I'm transcending.
When it comes to this holiday, how we celebrate it, what's one of the most annoying parts of it to you?
I would say the people who try to like find that unnecessary light that's not there. Like, well, it's got some bad stuff to it, but if we hadn't, we'd have been Wakanda. Shut the fuck up. Like, I don't have to be happy about this. Fuck you. Shut up, nigga. Like, damn. Like, you could be happy that you're not whatever. Because when people say that, it's like, once again, just if you thought, I don't know, man, you thought to number 3, think to 6. Because it's like, it's bad over there. Okay, but why is it bad over there? Did they just woke up one day and said, let's fuck ourselves up? Why they bad over there? Well, why they bad over there? Because colonizers, shut the fuck up talking to me, nigga. Damn, just eat your fucking rib. Shit.
Well, the vegan ribs these days.
Absolutely not. We will fight.
Poke is not a thing anymore.
Thank you to all my people now, because niggas was. Thank you to the animals. Bless you. Like our ancestors did for providing us nourishment. They got up in that ass though, and so did we. So okay, like thank you, and
I must stay.
Yeah, you can keep your jackfruit ribs. I'll beat you to death.
I will absolutely not partake in jackfruit ribs. I think part of the most annoying aspect of it for me, literally, is like the hearing of the fireworks 2 to 3 months before and 2 to 3 months afterwards. If you stay in any neighborhood that is predominantly melanated, whether it's for black folk, Latino folk, or anything amongst the two, you going to hear fireworks pre, during, and after. Like, there's no break whatsoever. And even last night, like when it stops around, say, 12:31, you still going to have them one-off. So like 3:30, 4 in the morning. 5:30 in the morning, just like you that bored where you let me just run outside and just let this off.
Yes,
it's Christmas.
That's
let me let some more.
Shit, man, everybody burping. It's just destruction holiday. That's all it is. Like I might have to renege on my previous. It's just blow some shit up holiday. We have an excuse to blow, but y'all could not take that back. Keep it because I don't blow some shit up all year. Even though some of y'all do, y'all niggas just be like, we're fucking bored on a Tuesday and
I mean, that's what the cops did when they confiscated all the illegal fireworks and then blew up half a city block down there, fucking around. Like, y'all spend all that money. The one time you do come into the hood to actually do your job is to confiscate some illegal fireworks, and then you almost kill a few damn people because you ain't do it right. You could have just did something better.
Cops out here like Pippin, just in the fucking Shire. Come on, Gandalf.
Fucking terrible. Like, you're not doing your job. You're not supporting this properly. But yeah, aside from that, yeah, it's a whole lot of contradiction when it comes to celebrating independence. And I think for us, we could care less because we know that it's not as the situation is contradictory. We were not as independent as we say we were. We are actually still to this very day very much dependent. So like, even when this holiday comes up, I try to be quiet for the most part and not be, pro-black hotep nigga that's just coming to spoil the fun. Like, I just be quiet about it. But, like, I always think, like, are we celebrating independence or are we still in dependence? I don't think we really understand the difference between the two. Like, we think that we're an independent country. We're not. We're in the most debt to other countries. most of our goods that are here come from other countries. Most of the labor that we have here are from individuals coming from other countries. As black folks, since we have participated in integration, we are not dependent upon ourselves. We are dependent upon what's given to us, even from the aspect of asking for reparations. Not to say that I'm against reparations, but that's us being dependent on something that we know doesn't even want to include us from jump. When it comes to our athletes that we've talked about last podcast, when the Olympics, they are dependent upon representing a country that does not want to allow them to be themselves. They can't go and represent themselves with their own talent. I have to represent this country. Like everything about this country from start to finish, from top to bottom, is based in dependence as opposed to being independent. It's one big contradictory notion.
I mean, that's the sell though. Like our like if you had like like those like political cartoons, like if you had like a picture of America, it would be like a weird sleazy car salesman. Like they just like like it sells you on some shit that just don't exist. Like it sells you a car with like literally nothing in it but a frame. But we really be like, but the frame though, because some people don't have a frame, and it's like, how you finna drive this bitch? Like it's the same kind of theme that we've talked about before. Like I'm not gonna say it's not difficult to do the complete 180 and be like, for sale, flip this shit over. But I do think in my mind, part of it is way more difficult in theory because you just can't fully engulf yourself with the fact that everybody will just get on board. Like if even the ones who just talk about getting on board got on board, I feel like shit would be better.
Definitely.
But everybody just be like so, paralyzed with what if we do this shit? Like, even using the Olympics for an example, like it's mad niggas who, probably are saying in their private circles, saying on, tweeting and shit that this is terrible. But if all y'all just said, like, fuck it. Like, the fear of them going, okay, we'll leave. And it's like, okay, well, shit, nigga, leave. Like, I don't know, like, and it is, like your great dream to be on the Olympic stage and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. Yeah, it does feel like kind of shitty to be like, this fucking place just hasn't done anything for me. And it starts to get into like, you watch like, those old gladiator films or some shit. And it's like, I will not fight for a king I do not respect and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And people like step aside from that mindset because it's like, but I'm like, if you apply that like to now, would you really fuck with them? Would you really like, you know what I'm saying? Like what have they really done? But also, like, what are you prepared to do besides complain about it?
Right. That was kind of like one of the posts I threw on my story. I think it was today or yesterday. But, like, the black girl asking her white boyfriend, like, if this was 70 years ago, would you still date me? And he's, like, tap dancing around answering it. It was like, you're dependent right now on the safety of being able to do it today and not having to address probably the piece of shit aspects of you that you've been raised in that you really don't want to address. Like, you wouldn't really do this. You're dependent on today for this relationship because if it was in the past, it wouldn't really be for love. You wouldn't have to actually address that reality. The funny part about this, like, did you end up going back and watching that America, the cartoon I would say documentary, but like the cartoon joint?
I plan to watch it tonight because I've been kind of just in this, dicking around all weekend.
It's funny how they utilize the parodies of it to make fun of it. But I brought that up because you were like talking about having a sleazy car salesman. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to spoil a little bit of it.
I'm still watching.
Yeah, but like one of the characters, George Washington is assembling this team of people to defend America against King James. And it ends up having like one of the people he takes is Samuel Adams. The portrayal of Samuel Adams is the proverbial white frat boy who loves beer. Like beer is his everything. But in the end, he makes him Uncle Sam. Mm-hmm. So your Uncle Sam is the beer drinking, bullshitty, gun toting frat boy.
Yeah.
But the mask and reality of this individual is hidden behind this super patriotic, you're Uncle Sam and I need you type individual. It's like we'll bypass all the hidden messages of shit because we are dependent on this makeup to show us what we think this is supposed to look like.
That's the usual shit, whether we're talking about fucking Independence Day or relationships or religion or whatever. all of that is like you believe these things to be this. Like Uncle Sam, it's fucked up, but it is, for the betterment of the country. No, it's not. Like if you just keep peeling back these layers, nigga, and ask like the real why, and just be comfortable with the fact that this shit finna blow up this motherfucking seat I'm sitting on, and just hit the flow. Like you can get up off the floor, but you may have to hit the flow a little bit. If you blow up the seat and you're able to catch yourself and stand up, perfect. You off and running. Fuck this chair. But I think everybody, everybody I feel like talks about these growth journeys, these spiritual journeys, these whatever journeys you on, but they only push it up until the point where it's kind of uncomfortable, where he's just about to blow up some shit, and then you get off the gas. Because It's like, well, damn, if I blow up, then I have to rebuild this shit. It's much easier to kind of try to take some lofty idea and like maybe frame it and maybe stack it around your bullshit belief, as opposed to just blowing that motherfucker up from the root and then starting over.
Right. Because if you blow it up, that means I have to pay attention to how shitty the foundation originally was. Don't nobody want to pay attention to that.
I mean, yeah, you got to focus on, well, shit, now I got to really, I got to build me back up. That shit sounds super sweet. Like when you post it, you have to build you, you have to focus on you have to love you. Okay, well, do it. Like, do it for real. Right. Because, motherfuckers say that shit, like they would really be, speaking out to the religious sense, and they'd be like, you niggas talk about that shit, but you won't question it. But it's like, y'all would have been the niggas to hang the nigga up.
Most
like, you act like you would have been you would have been in the mob that hung him up like a painting. Like, you would have been there.
So, like, oh boy, it's like, yeah, I couldn't. It would have been illegal. Like, that was one of his answers. Like, it would have been illegal for me to date you back then. Like, nah, you're not saying that it would have been completely illegal, because it would have been illegal for her. She would have been on the chopping block. Either that, or you would have to say she was just your black servant that you be raping for fun time. People would let it slide, but you would have been part of the mob that would have been hanging her brother from a goddamn tree and castrating.
She done for posting that, because in my mind, she still went and sucked bro off that night. Like, I don't believe that she stopped fucking with him
at all.
So it just was like, what did you post this for?
I tell you all the time.
The girl who fucking at the end who said her little piece, super fuck with her. She's dope. She made perfect sense and was just blatantly honest. Like, if you're gonna be an ally, you know what I'm saying? Like, back to the war movies. The niggas who were their allies was right next. Like when Leonidas and them was fighting, like them fucking farmer niggas, they died too.
Yep.
So it's like you allied to a point. I can't fuck with you.
You're not really with it.
Yeah, and that's not, that gets into love shit and all that.
Well,
like you're not really fucking with it. Get to it to a point.
That's not even love. That lets me know, like, oh, this is your fetish that you get to live in reality. I'm dependent on this fake reality to not show the truth, which is, oh, you're just a fetish that I get to participate in. I get to have a black girlfriend with the ass cheeks and whatnot, and just this beautiful skin. I don't have to actually care about her as an individual, because she doesn't really identify with black culture anyway. Like, I get the safety of having this fetish that I want to participate in without the responsibility of actually paying attention to it.
Not to mention those who there are people who find it trendy to be on the right side of history. Like, but you really are and that's what I'm saying. I want my motherfucking racism, no chaser. Like, I don't want you up here,
fresh out the bottle.
Yeah, I don't want you pouring it and mixing it in. So it's like, oh, this tastes nice. Like, this I can't even taste the liquor in this. It's like,
don't chill it, nothing. I want it not even room temperature. I want it luke hot. I've contributed
to Black Lives Matter and stuff, and I that's fucking terrible what such and such said. And it's like, all right, but you not really. You like what she said. If you saw somebody, drag me out the car, you gonna pull out your phone, or you can get them the fuck up off me. But at the same time, I can't really hold them to that standard, because we don't do that
at all.
We will 100% film a motherfucker you've known. Man, I knew Ronnie. He lived up the block for 10 years, and you let this fucking weirdo
come in here,
beat him to death.
And while you filmed, and say, hey, you don't need to do that from the sidelines, as opposed to putting your phone down and jumping in. What are you dependent on? But that was kind of like my point for the post today. Like, not even just when it comes to this holiday, but as a culture, as a society, as an individual, are you really independent? Like, do you look at the word of independent and look at what it truly means? And for yourself, can you say that you are independent? Are you interdependent, or are you completely dependent upon the things that help define you? Are you completely dependent upon those wigs, weaves, and makeups? Are you completely dependent upon your gang or the title of being drug dealer or street nigga getting it out the mud? Like, are you completely dependent upon your title within your professional career? Are you completely dependent upon your title of Instagram insert whatever the fuck you think you're doing in a blue check? Are you validated by those things, or are you independent of those things and still yourself? Or are you interdependent with them, meaning that we can coexist and support one another equally in a healthy way? Which one is it? And I think a lot of people, when they sit back and ask themselves these questions, they'll realize, damn, I'm way more dependent on shit than I am. I'm not even interdependent. I'm not even utilizing this shit in a healthy way. I'm just completely dependent upon it.
People don't ask themselves these questions. I know.
But I know, man. Like, trying to facilitate those conversations that people are having with themselves. Like I said, I don't want to be completely like pro-black, anti-holiday, anti-white and shit. Like, it transitions into the mental health world as well. Like, I'm medication. There's people that are. I'm dependent upon medication for me not to be depressed. These antidepressants are what's keeping me from being depressed. Like, no real therapist has taught you how to value yourself. They've not held you accountable to utilizing your coping skills and things of that nature. So you're dependent on a medication because you're not actually learning how to depend on yourself.
But I would even say, like what you were kind of touching on is people are, I'm an independent thinker. I'm an independent. I'm an independent nigga. I'm 10 toes down. I'm like, y'all are. Even that, like, people are dependent upon identities. Like you just mentioned, like professions. Like, I like mental health and I will be a therapist, but I'm not dependent on that to define me. I enjoy podcasting, but I'm not dependent on that to define me either. Like, people who are dependent upon titles because I'm in this certain profession, because I go to this certain school, or people are dependent upon
relationship titles.
Well, yeah. I don't like, not even to just bang on relationships. I was listening to Word to Zoe. I was listening. He was like doing it was like a Instagram live, and he discussed, and it was kind of along the lines of the fucking Will Smith JADA quote from a while back, and it was like, if somebody tells you or alludes to the fact that you're looking for somebody and they need to make you happy, you need to make me happy, and it's like you should run from them.
Yes,
because like, you need to come happy. You need to come independently be able to create your own happiness and self-worth and understanding, and be able to give that to the relationship space. If somebody comes and then you're not coming as a whole, complete, independent person. You're coming, I have a dependency.
Yeah.
I'm coming into this relationship and I need you to feel this. Nigga, give me the needle. Like, cause if you're not giving me my fix, I'm a bounce, which is basically kind of what that alludes to. Like, if you're not giving me my immediate fix right now, I'm gonna bounce.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you gonna mess around and piss off some folk when they come to talking about that. Now, granted, that's no surprise to us. We're used to doing that. We actually enjoy it.
Oh, you feel me now? Shit, didn't even get to the second part. Motherfucker was like, people are always on a priority or transition of, always in like a transitional phase, basically in a.
That's one of yours. Something. It ain't mine.
Anyways, if we blow up, man, we gave y'all the juice
to the very end, baby.
Yeah, man, y'all fucking got, put a statue in front of the fucking Good News Studio.
It could just be a poster board. It ain't even got.
Nah, man, I want a statue. I blew up in this bitch. You gonna give me mine, boy.
I want a placard or something. Mm-hmm. Goddamn it.
But it was basically like, if people are always on this, journey of change, then that requires you, and I look at this as a level of independence, to also be an individual who is changing. Because if you go, this is what I need to make me happy, and this is what a relationship's, and it's like, well, then you're already blocking off the options of y'all growing, and because you're only going to stay here. And it's like, well, shit, say people who've been rocking since like college, what we needed from each other at fucking 19, 20, 18, we definitely need a whole different bag of shit at 30. We need a whole different bag of shit at 40, 65. And, y'all talk about going life. That really is a pet peeve. My motherfuckers talk about doing life. And it's like, do you have the foresight to know what you're asking for?
No.
But anyways, that seems like, at best it should be an interdependent thing, but people are dependent upon these relationships and shit. And it's like, you're not an independent person in and of yourself. And independence is not just mean like I can pay for a lot of stuff. I can buy my own motherfucking shit. You are infant in your brain.
Yeah, you had Webby out here spelling, independent out here in the song. Y'all motherfuckers thought y'all fit the criteria. Like, no, it's more to it than that, than just paying your bills. That's what an adult is supposed to do. But still being an independent individual that is without negative influence or without major influence from external sources to be able to be yourself regardless. That is the true independent mindset, which a lot of us, we don't have.
That. So when you talked about the Webby thing, because relationships just be sparking thoughts. So you talked about the Webby thing. We clearly discussed that everybody thinks about independence in the realm of like, it's always monetary, it's always money, it's always whatever. But independence as far as like, as we've been sitting here discussing, thinking of oneself and being able to kind of be aware of yourself and independent in your own thoughts and vibes. And I thought about that, like independence in relationship, because it does make sense. It makes sense if Jada and Will get together or Beyonce and Jay-Z were independent fucking, financially. Boom. Why don't we apply this concept to other levels of relationship? Like, are you guys independent mentally? Are you guys independent spiritually? Because motherfuckers only bring up like this spiritual vibrational shit when it's cute posts, or for relationships, everybody just gets super Christian. Like you just had your crystals and shit like in your post, ma'am or sir, and all of a sudden it's like you got to be spiritually even. I was like, why are you when you use those terms, but you boil it down to the easiest book to follow?
Right.
Like if you're gonna do it, do that, because you definitely need to be like fucking together and maneuvering at the same speed in that realm, or at least giving space for everybody to maneuver at their own speed. But if you boil it down to this book here, then you've stunted yourselves.
Because you're dependent upon this book for your identity as opposed to seeking it out for yourself. I'm dependent upon this one realm of information to help me dictate and define who I am, as opposed to adding it in from all the other information that I can find for myself.
That's because y'all is liars, and that book give you easy, simple rules, as opposed to we got to really figure this out, which is what we said before. I even posted about it, that we said today on a couple episodes ago. It's like the risk of that is what gives you the reward in this love shit. Definitely. Like y'all be looking for the simplest. If we do this, it works out right, and this shit be this good. Like this shit be. Y'all really not even making it to the G League. Like it's big intramural love where some motherfucker over here like, damn, they LeBron level. Like they going to the Hall of Fame. Why? Because that motherfucker did some shit niggas don't do. Y'all doing the regular degular, and are like, well, I played a JUCO for a while.
Getting independence. Not to say that this, but the title of the ring, you're getting a participation trophy from playing it safe. I played it safe and I was here, so I get a reward with a participation trophy for the ring, as opposed to getting the actual championship ring, which is weird because I went above and beyond to figure out how to be the best at this thing and really give myself to it. Learning from this, I'm not dependent on safety to just get some sort of little bit of validation. I'm actually trying to be interdependent, and I'm trying to give to it as much as I'm trying to receive from it. That made me think about like a post I saw today. I'll summarize, but basically it's just a dude that was like on Twitter because he was upset. Some girl he was talking to, he told her like, honestly, I'm not ready for a relationship. And by the end of the day, she was already posting how she was laying cuddled up with somebody else, enjoying wine or whatever. And he's like, damn, I'm really hurt. And a lot of some of the people like, just take your L and move on. It's all good. And a lot of the women were like, you think a woman's going to wait on you? Like she knows what she wants and she's going after it. It was like, yeah, but you're not going after it wholeheartedly. I'm going for the safety aspect of it. I just want the title. I want the participation trophy.
Like
I just want this on a surface level to appease to me. I'm not really focusing on the sacrifice that's necessary to make it work.
Yeah, like sometimes I feel like this is just me probably needing more words, or because I'm like, we need more words, but that's just me being able to articulate it more, because everybody's like, you know what you want. Do you? What the fuck are you talking about? Because I knew what I wanted, like I just said, at 18. I do not want that now.
Right.
Like even people talk about the realm of relationship, like knowing what you want and this is what love looks like. And everybody who did it, I would say anybody who I feel like is like supremely happy seems like they're not doing shit a traditional way. Like I look at say, okay, whenever I see, this is all pictures, all Instagram, Tank looks really happy with his lady. He's described their situation. I cheated on you, you cheated on me. They did a whole motherfucking journey and shit and got to this space. I remember listening to Michael Jai White talk on fucking Vlad about he's had kids, he had an ex-wife, he had a couple marriages, but this woman who's his wife now, favorite line, he's like, she was like my best friend. We have just like, we think they did a thing or whatever, and then they kind of like stayed in each other's lives as friends, and then kind of grew to a space of, what the fuck are we doing? Like, why aren't we just whatever? Cool. To the creme de la creme, I guess just the most popular. I don't know if they're creme de la creme. Their marriage could be trash for all I know. But the Tabitha Brown woman who, you know, Wendy Williams was just like fucking, which is, Wendy was speaking from hurt. Like the whole time you watch Wendy's fucking, I'm like,
jealousy.
Yeah, it was like, bro, she hurt in her tone. Like, granted, your husband was trash, but I'm not.
You chose him.
Yeah, I'm not acknowledged. I'm not taking away that he probably could have been is a trash individual, but I'm like, I don't look at Wendy as somebody who just was like this all-star amazing person that didn't contribute to, like, which, and that's not to shift blame, it's just, I don't know, how do I say this? Like, bad things happen to good people, but it's like, I think about that energetically. Like, if you were giving, you know, I gave, you know, this, that, and the third to her, when niggas be like, I paid for it, I bought her shit, I bought her this, I bought her that. I'm like, if we're talking spiritually or energetically, it's like you gave that from a shit space, from a manipulative space, from a, I want her to shut the fuck up space, from a whatever insecurity space. And it's like, you could have a bunch of good shit, but if I have a whole fucking bowl of a fucking big jar of lemonade and I get one speck of shit and I put it in the fucking bowl, the bowl is not completely contaminated. It doesn't matter how much good or whatever shit. So if you were doing that from a fucking cornball fuck nigga space or whatever, cool. So I look at that when I think about Wendy, because I'm like, you're not a nice person, period. Like, there's a lot of people out here in this space. Shit, we talk about like current events, but it's like, you go out of your way. That's your shtick to be like, and you know, shit, energy fucking comes back. But the Tabitha, is it Brown? Tabitha Brown? Sure. Retired her husband, and was like, you know, he was working and I was chasing this dream, and he like, you know, held it down. So now I'm fucking famous. I'm getting the bag. Like, we're like rich. Stop doing regular work, nigga. Chase your dream too. And like, I was kind of happy at the internet. I'm not gonna lie. Little, you know, jaded me is like, I feel like you motherfuckers are lying because you niggas post on a regular basis the complete opposite of this. Fuck, like, you know, duality. You post things that are contradictory to what this woman just did. You cannot be the, I find it hard to see that it's like, I'm the foot the tab, traditional, whatever type person. She does something that's the complete, quote unquote, most non-traditional thing you can do. And y'all just pretending to be cool about it or just whatever. But fuck it. I forgot where I was going with that. I literally just lost my train of thought. But all I'm saying is, oh, there we go. That is like, on paper, a really non-traditional way to go about it. She's independent in herself and in her, like, you know, love and marriage, and very, very Christian with it. So y'all are just all reading from the same book very, very stupidly. But
I mean, if you both in it, it'll work for you. But that's part of the point that you're making. Like, if everybody's on one accord, it can work for you, but you're going to be dependent upon whatever silliness that you both are buying into, which can create a sort of interdependence. But when you're out of alignment and you're dependent on something and somebody else is dependent upon something completely different, it's not going to work. And a lot of people are looking at that saying, oh, yeah, I can do that. No, you're too dependent on the opposite of this. So you would never be able to do that. Yeah. It doesn't match with the things that you are dependent upon.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I be getting really caught up in like words and intent, because it's like, if you went on this journey to be great, but it's off the backs of like, I don't need a motherfucker. And it's like, you tainted it. Like, it's not just, I want to be better and grow so I can give and spread love. I can't do that if I'm not in a love space myself, which takes, you know, time for me to like step back and like align myself and so on and so forth. But if it was like, you step back, you cut those motherfuckers off, it was like, that's you putting shit in the water, man. Like,
I don't care what interaction you have, you should be able to love or at least appreciate any and everybody that you've come across. Not to say that you got to be friends with them to the very end, but I can appreciate what little or what a lot you've brought to my life and contributed to me. and made me a better individual because it helped me understand how to be independent. It gave me the ability to understand my ability. So I needed this interaction with you. If you're automatically like blaming other people for certain experiences and you're not taking accountability for other things or trying to learn from it, you're dependent upon the titles that come with these interactions to make you feel good. You're not dependent. You're not independent and figuring out how to learn from them on your own and accept them for what they are. That kind of goes back to what you're saying as far as like somebody coming into the interaction. I won't even say the relationship, but they're coming into the interaction with I know what I'm looking for. This. Like, no, you're dependent upon these things to make yourself feel good. I need to go in the opposite direction because you're not going to even learn a lesson from this. I'm going to be the scapegoat, whether this works or fails. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be the person that gets the finger pointed at them because you're dependent upon these certain components to make you feel a way that you should already have the ability to do on your own.
Yeah, I saw a post earlier and it was real like kiddish, but it was, it makes a good point. And I've had that said to me about being like, and it gets turned into like being like, you're super optimistic unnecessarily. I'm like, I'm not. It's not that. Like a positive outlook does not mean you're unaware of the negatives of it. But, I'm independently choosing. I'm just going to keep using this word because it ties in, folks. But to choose like a positive thing. It was some fucking little drawing. I'll find it somewhere. I think I saved it. But it was like, a positive person sees the positive of the thing and they got like a slice of cake. And it's like a negative person will see the negative anything. They have the entire cake, but like a slice is gone. And it's like, to me, that's some of that like all or none type thinking if we're talking in the realm of relationships. And it's like, like you kind of still dependent on like you need to give it your motherfucking, I need all of this to whatever. And it's like, you're not really thinking about this relationship specific to y'all or specific to this or specific to this person. It's dependent thinking because you're just trying to ride the wave of what everybody else says this shit's supposed to look like. And you probably fucking yourself up because you could be like mad happy if you were just like, turn this lens this way. That doesn't automatically turn it into an example of like, I'm finna get dogged and like, miss out on my fucking needs. I don't even think people examine like their fucking need, like this is my needs or my love languages, whatever. Why is that? Did you examine it as just some shit that's playing into your fucking wants? Like, did you really go, oh, this makes me feel like love, or this just makes me feel like I got attention, or I got whatever, or I'm a physical touch. You just like your dick sucked, my nigga. We all do. It's cool.
Right. Like they're not understanding the depths of it, but that's you being dependent upon the title. The fact that a lot of people will, I know do you know your love languages? Like, I know psychology. I don't need to know my love language. I know what speaks to me and what doesn't speak to me, and for the reasons that they do or do not. You're dependent upon this thing that's popular at the moment to help you understand who you think you are. You still got some learning to do. I'm depending on what's popular to dictate to me what I should be, and that's part of the problem.
I thought about this, like as far as like the love language thing. If love is because love is not love is not a take thing. Love is a very giving, giving space. When people talk about love languages, I always hear them talk about it like it's something they like to receive, but it's like, are you giving that with the freeness that you would like to receive it? Like, I know I like physical touch because I'm just going to touch you. And I don't necessarily need it to be like, suck my dick, whatever. Like, only time that really doesn't happen is if, you get fucking weird and you and a motherfucker beef and you're not just going to be like, I'm going to just fucking touch on you, but I'm fucking mad or whatever. Like, but a motherfucker be like, I am a words of affirmation person or I'm whatever. Did you affirm this person just because? Because if that's your love language and you in the giving space, you should just be doing that shit off top. Like, be like, the number one thing with it seems like with women is like, gifts. Did you give him a gift?
Gifts and affirmation are normally like.
But did you give him a gift?
No. Like,
did you go and like, and fuck it, it don't have to be no expensive, but did you just give him a gift comparable to this? Like, or fucking, what's that other motherfucking one? It don't matter. Do you give your love language as much as you want to receive it?
No, because I'm dependent upon this construct of love languages to tell people how to give me what I want as opposed to understanding what's needed. Because what's needed when it comes to love languages is you should understand them all because they are all necessary. Because I can understand which top 2 or 3 for me resonate with me more closely, but I also have to understand how to give you your top 3, which may be completely different than mine. And if there's 5 of them hoes, you got 3 and I got another 3, most likely we're going to cover all 5 of these bases. So we have to understand them all. What do I need to receive and what do I need to give? I must rely on love languages, but I'm dependent on telling you my love language because I want you to give me what I'm looking for. I'm dependent on that validation, that type of validation, as opposed to understanding the importance of the collective.
I also think that shit too, like, I don't be trying to like just shit on things, but I'm like, when I think about that, I'm like, even that I kind of look at as like a way to make love manageable. And one of my favorite little bars, I don't know if I stole this from somebody, but in my mind, I said it myself. Love is like God, and people put a lot of these barriers, a lot of these rules on it, so that they can understand the thing. And I'm not going to say it's not understandable, but it's a thing that you only understand it as you grow in it. You only understand spirituality and God as you grow in your spiritual, godly, universal journey. So you only understand love as you grow in love. So to say this is how love looks with these certain languages, I'm like, you're boxing this shit in so you can make it easy on you.
Right.
Which I feel like in turn is you going out of your way to just fuck yourself over, because it's going to get to a non-understandable part where you got to open this box up anyways.
Right.
So if you want to open the box up, which is cool because then you see growth or whatever, but a lot of you motherfuckers probably have crushed or will crush a thing because it's like, it's not fit in the box. Throw it out so you can fill the box up again.
But you're missing the value of the actual box, which could be used for something else later, to either give to someone else in a special moment or hold and keep safe something that you need to. I'm dependent upon this to continue to be selfish and get external validation, as opposed to being interdependent on this whole construct to realize how to apply it in a more healthy way.
I feel like using a box, you limit it. Like, you could probably be getting unconditional, limitless. You could tap into that. But because your love is experienced in a box of specific rules, specific ways it's supposed to look. Once again, people who are going to try to, nobody's saying, like, get fucking fucked over. But because you keep love in this particular box, you can only access a box's worth of love. When there's motherfuckers who are just like, I ain't even got to tear the box up, but I'm going to tear the top off. So I can still I'll just stand in the box, but just go up infinitely. You now have access to fucking a ridiculous amount of love this box person can't do.
Right.
And let alone if you tear the box up, there's every direction just fucking love, bitch.
All of it. Soak it all in. In all the ways that it looks, all the ways that it feels, the freedom that it actually gives you to not be bound by a one-dimensional boundary.
Unconditional and infinite be the words attached to love and God. I don't, like, the dictionary is on Google. Like, that's it. This shit ain't really that complex. Like,
it's not, but we make it more complex because of our dependency.
Dickhead.
But that's why I asked when it, especially, I know we started off in the realm of celebrating this holiday of independence, but we're so dependent on everything. We don't really
know what you came here for.
We don't really understand what independence is, because we don't see independence in our own life. We are so very codependent on so many different things that we have no clue of what true independence actually looks like. Your holidays are dependent upon this Christian value system that we have in the Western world. I love such and such. Well, if you don't identify with that, do you still love it? People look at me crazy and they be like, oh, I love Christmas so much. Don't you love Christmas? I don't celebrate it. How do you not like Christmas? If you go to Israel, are they celebrating Christmas the same way we celebrate it here? If you go to a Buddhist temple, are they celebrating Christmas the same way we do? No. Like, this is another date to us. Why? Because you're dependent upon this construct of telling you what joy and happiness is, as opposed to having it all year long. These 15, 20 days out of the year that we have a holiday, these are the days I'm going to celebrate family and togetherness and this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Hey, bro, there's 365 of these motherfuckers in a year. And even that, we're reliant upon this calendar system.
We've been living one long universal day.
It's been manipulated. It's not. Are you actually celebrating Christmas on the day you're supposed to? Because based on the Aztecs that supposedly had it one way, you had some other rulers come in that were of the white persuasion throughout history and said, "No, I want to move this day over here, just because I like it better over here."
Omni-Man said we've been living in a blink. So
in the grand scheme of things, because we're in one universe, there's multiple universes.
Oh fuck yeah! Like
that we'll never set foot on, at least within our lifetime. So how do you know?
Oh yeah, no, like that's a thing. Like the infinite, a speck in a speck in a speck in a speck in a speck.
Most definitely.
And that's what motherfucker like. I'm trying to tap into the universe to God, and that's like, don't you gonna box this motherfucker to just some weird white nigga with a beard in the sky? Come on, G. Like
walking with a stick. Burning bushes and no, Sodom and Gomorrah and sins, and you'll burn in hell if you don't follow what's in this book. Like the person that created all of the entire universe, all of these galaxies, as interdependent as all these things are, because we are interdependent with everything that's in our solar system, not just on this earth, but in our solar system. Even the moon affects our mood and our water and things of that nature. We are all interdependent. So the person or thing or being or whatever that created all this, you're going to say, nah, this one book explains all of that.
We can get weird with all this shit because it's like, if you, law of attraction, and if you're an independent person and you believe and love that and are free with that, then like by law, like you would attract that person to your life.
I don't have to go looking for them.
Yeah, like
I don't have to waste my time on people because that person's going to come to me regardless.
Even though people abuse that concept, because motherfuckers use attract as if you don't have to like put any fucking effort in fucking engaging with a person. It just means that like these people will be in your space. Like, oh, I've been dating this type of person. It shows that I'm fucking around on this type of level or this type of level because the person you're in a relationship shows you stuff about you.
Right. It's a mirror of who you are. So me lighting sage and listening to Jhené Aiko isn't going to attract the perfect person for me just because I'm simply here with my ohms waiting for them to appear.
It would if it was authentic. Y'all be doing this shit because it's a vibe and it's just like this thing that's used to be like, this is what peace and tranquility looks like, and this will bring peace and tranquility to me. And all these tools are just that they are tools to like attune you to these things. But you've been using these things as ways to deflect and move around because in you is the bullshit. Like you are a dickhead. Okay, maybe let me because I know people just, I ain't no dickhead. You're mean, you're dismissive, you're rude, sir. You're fucking
selfish, insecure.
You're condescending. You're like all of these things like are in you still. You using all the nice good shit as a way to fucking deflect, and it's like this makes me spirit. I've been pushing away negativity. No, you've been pushing away lessons, nigga. Growth, nigga.
I was gonna let that marinate for a second because you need to hear that.
Oh, I dropped the bar. My bad. I fucked my shit up.
No, it's cool. No, they can hear it. They can rewind that thing when you hear it. I know if you're listening live, you can't rewind it. You can go back and listen to it again. But that's the aspect of it. I'm pushing away negativity. Are you sure? I know what I want. Now, you know what you want, but do you know what you need? Because I can go to In-N-Out right now, and I know that I want 2 triples, fries well done with chopped chilies on top. But is that something that I need right now? Probably not. So I know what I want. We always know what we want. When you first meet somebody, even if you don't know them, we know sexually, I'm attracted to this individual. So within a physical sense, I know what I may want. But is that what I need to do? When it comes to celebrating things in this country, I know what I want to do, but is that what I need to do? When it comes to advocating for yourself and standing up for your truth and being independent in your own mindset, independent of yourself. Even when it comes to these noises of vibration, being independent when it comes to your pleasure, whatever it may be. But are you actually being independent, or are you being dependent on some other shit? Are you focusing on what you need, which is going to require independence and straying away from the norm, or are you completely dependent on something else to tell you how you should do it because you don't trust yourself? I don't know me, I don't trust me, and I really don't love me. And I'm dependent upon all these things to make me think that I'm in that frame of mind. oh, that's some weirdo shit. Like, no, certain things aren't weirdo shit. Some of that is thinking outside the box. That person is free.
No, weirdo shit just when it's like stuff you don't understand. I don't understand a lot of shit, but that's what I'd be saying. Like, I'm be trying to word it properly of like, at its core, to have an understanding of wanting to be like, you know, be knowledgeable, be free, be independent of, you know, all these like whatever frames of mind. So if I find it weird, I should at least indulge in it to see like, do I find it weird because it challenges my belief? It sparks something in me that goes, and make it away from that, because that shit might free you of some shit. If it's really genuinely like, oh, this shit is dumb. Okay, well, cool, but like examine it first and examine why you think it's dumb, because there's a lot of shit that I'm into because I feel like I've been like every other regular nigga, and once I broke it down, like I think it's dumb because I have an insecurity in this. I think it's dumb because I didn't understand it, so it's stupid. Right. I think it's dumb because niggas don't do that. I think it's dumb, whatever. And the minute I acknowledged that was the reason that I thought it was dumb, it ceased to be dumb. Like sometimes immediately it stopped being dumb. It immediately became interesting, or at the very least it stopped being dumb, and later on became something that like I'm into, or something that I can accept, or something like that. Oh, I understand why they fuck with that. I just don't fuck with it because I was too late to the game or whatever. Like, but
I don't fuck with it, or I think that it's weird because I'm worried about how people are going to look at me for embracing it. That's the real weirdness about it. But when you get past that aspect, you realize, no, I'm being weird as fuck for worrying about what people think about this, as opposed to just embracing it for what it is. Like I had a minor conversation about that with one of my brothers yesterday. It's like, what's a song that you enjoyed, or an artist that you enjoyed when we was back in high school that you couldn't let people know that you was listening to? And for him, you know, big Crip nigga, he's like Mariah Carey. Like, I love Mariah Carey. Like, you niggas, because you guys are close to me, you guys knew that I loved Mariah Carey's music, but I couldn't let other people in the hood know. Like, when I pull up to the block, I got to change the song. I can't pull up, let nobody know that this gangster nigga is listening to Mariah Carey on his own. But it's like, but why?
That makes sense.
Does it make you any less who you are because I'm listening to a song?
That's how you get shit like this. Shit, like, I like that trend of like shit on the internet where like niggas talk about like still listening to Paramore, because that shit go.
Oddly enough, that song came on, and while we were on the grill cooking, Paramore came on, and he, like I said, big Crip nigga, man, can somebody who's DJing, man, turn this shit off? Like
this fucking song.
And I was like, you're not even listening to the words. Like, if you listen to the words, she's basically talking about manning up and being strong and standing on your own too. Ain't it fun living in the real life? Can't go crying to your mama. Like, basically, nigga, man up. Don't go crying. Don't go worrying about all this bullshit. You got to do this shit on your own, and you got to be strong enough to do it. He's like, well, it don't sound like, I'm not hearing the same words you explained to me. I was like, I had to nigga translate for you to understand what you're saying. I had to put it into nigga terms. But that's what the song is about. But you're so focused on it not being like old school Dog Pound or some shit that you ain't really paying attention to like the lyrics of the song.
That shit, I don't know, man. Like, I had that, but I don't know. Word to my like dad, because he was letting me listen to shit that he knew he himself was like, this is fucking weird, but whatever, nigga. Like, if you like it, I love it. Just don't. But he had like, you know, just don't go in here. So if this is the shit you listen to that keep you from going in here,
we gonna embrace it. I know where you don't need to be. Simba, don't go to the darker areas. Mm-hmm. And if this is gonna keep you in the light, then this is what we gonna embrace, and I enjoy it.
All right, man. We're going to let them play. Fuck that. We've been talking about Paramore, man. That's what you guys are going to get.
Because we are not dependent upon anybody telling us what our blackness is defined by. So we going to enjoy some Paramore as we get up out of here. Reevaluate your life, people. Are you being codependent, interdependent, completely dependent, or independent? Ask yourself these questions in your life on the things that you embrace. And we're going to see y'all. We're going to go ahead and see y'all on Saturday afternoon. So y'all enjoy yourselves when we get out of here. Enjoy this Paramore.
We're going to get you right to the hook.
Nobody say if you just listen to the musical part of the song, the shit slap. You ain't even got to listen to the lyrics.
when you what?
What you get when you let your heart win. Oh.
Fuck you, nigga. Ain't a nigga alive. Fuck, shut your ass up. I don't. Shut your ass up.
You know the songs.